Hello fellow Sudokans and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle. It's Wednesday the 28th of December 2022. I hope you are keeping well. I've decided to play my game at bedtime, Sudoku at bedtime, and to make it an easy level game because I'm always playing the expert and hard level games and occasionally medium level games. Very rarely do we get to play the easy ones, but the number of views on a Monday for the Guardian is pretty respectable, and so there is definitely an audience to play the easier puzzles. And so if you are new to the game, welcome. New to the channel, welcome. Stay a while. No, don't stay a while, stay for the whole video. How about that? I was thinking that after recently watching a documentary about various things in the war in Afghanistan, I was thinking that we have to be prepared for some silver linings sometimes. I'm not suggesting that we should have terrible things so that we can have silver linings. I don't mean that, but sometimes after horrific events, sometimes we can get some good, and especially after wars. I was thinking that when the Americans came back from Vietnam, where they lost, they were chastened, but during the time America was in Vietnam, the American feeling to war really changed as well, and the veterans that came back described how the war was, and it wasn't, the heroics that people had expected and expected to be told about, that kind of thing. No, they came back and described what an awful place it was and how America was fighting a war that it really shouldn't have been fighting anyway. In the battle of the Russians versus Afghanistan, well, the Russians were having a terrible time economically as well, but Russians were being shipped back and were being killed in Afghanistan in huge numbers as well. The Mujahideen were fighting against them, and the ambition for Afghanistan from the Russians that it would turn into a kind of smaller Soviet society really didn't work. But again, when the soldiers went back, those that survived, managed to try to persuade people, I think, a lot of the time, that really it wasn't working. The war effort that they had tried to become involved in really didn't work. And the Soviet Union was already crumbling at that time, and various factors, of course, interplayed to lead to the end of the Soviet Union, that planned economy, which really was full of corruption and didn't really work very well. And now we have the war in Ukraine, which Russia has really lost already. I mean, whether or not they win large areas of land, and whether or not it's really protracted over many years, I think the situation for Russia is that it's lost. I don't think that they could declare a win ever out of this. But when the Russian soldiers, especially conscripts, go back to normal life, again, those that manage to survive and get away with their lives, when they go back to the normal life, again, their view of Russia being the all-powerful, all-great and power in the region will have changed, and society will be changing after that time. Of course, it's years into the future. I mean, this is not, I'm not talking about in the short term, but I'm talking about long-term changes. So there is, the world changes. We never sit still. We always have to be aware that the world is constantly changing and moving, and we ought not to always be so incredibly pessimistic when times are tough, and they certainly are tough right now. Okay, you've come here to find out about Sudoku, right? Because it's an easy level game which you haven't really tried before. So very quickly, a quick explanation of the rules. We have 9 squares across in each row. We have 9 squares down each column, and our job is to place digits 1 to 9 in each of the squares. Because there are only 9 squares, numbers cannot repeat. But that's not all, because we also have these smaller 3 by 3 blocks that you can see, 9 of them. And we do the same thing, we place digits 1 to 9 in there. So how do we go about finding the numbers? We use logic. So let's say, for example, there's a 1 in this column already. Oh, excuse me. There's a 1 in this column already. If you follow it up to the top, you'll see that 1 cannot appear in any other squares here. And then we have a 1 in this column here. And if we follow that up to the top, it means 1 cannot reappear in this column, and we have a 1 across here like this. So if I highlight in blue like this, you can get to see where the numbers intersect, and of course that leaves just one single white square like this, and we know that that white square contains a digit 1 because that's the only possible location where it can go. Let's do the same thing over here with these intersecting ones like this. 1 up here, 1 down here, and 1 across here. And we're left with a single square where 1 can go there. Now sometimes we kind of think, no, let's do it like this. Okay, so in this column over here, we have 7, 9, 6, 3, 5, and 8 already. We don't yet have a digit 1. So let's consider we have 3 empty squares like this. Okay, now this square here, can it be 1? Well, no, we can see that this one here blocks. And this square here, well, we've got a 1 blocking right next to it. And so again, we are left with just one white square where the number can go. And so we know that the 1 must go there. Let's look all the way down here now. Excuse me, if I can hold the key down on the keyboard. And 1's across like this. And we will find that there is a digit 1 here. And that is the final digit 1 because there are now 9 of them placed, 1 in each of the small squares. And since we have to fill numbers 1 to 9 in each of these small blocks, well, there are 9 of each digit, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. Got the hang of it now? Good. So now we can continue. Let's see, there's a 7 blocking across here like this, and there's a 7 blocking up here like this. So that's got to give us a 7 in that square there. What else? Okay, so this block up here, remember we need all digits between 1 and 9. So let's see what we have. We have a 1, we don't have 2, we don't have 3, and we don't have 4. But we've got everything else, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's look at this square here. So we're missing 2, 3, and 4. So we ask ourselves, can it be 2? And we look for some help, and we say, no, it can't be 2. Well, can it be 3? Because that's one of the other missing numbers. No, it can't be 3. So immediately we know if it can't be 2 and it can't be 3, well, it must be 4 because we only have 3 numbers missing. And it means that 2 and 3 will appear in these 2 squares at some future point in time. Not yet, because at the moment I can't really say which is which. Got the idea? Okay, now 5 blocking across here and 5 across here puts a 5 into that square there. Six blocks across the top row here and 6 blocks across here, so that's going to give us a 6 in that square. Now in this row here we don't yet have 8 or 9, those are the missing numbers, and when we look for help we find that an 8 up here, so that it means that this square here can't be 8, can it? So an 8 must be in that square there, and then the 9 will be the last number to complete this row. Okay, we have 5 blocking across here and 5 up here. If you're wondering why that took me a little while to find, I don't have a list of digits here of ways that I should play the game. I'm playing it live. Don't know the actual final outcome yet. So we're doing it together. If you've not played the game yet yourself, if you've already played it, well, you've already played it. We have 6 blocking across here like this, and 6 down here like this, so that puts a 6 into that square. Then 6 across here puts a 6 here. Missing numbers in this row are 2 and 8. That's what we need for the whole series. Now we have an 8 up here blocking this square, so we can say 8 must be here and 2 must be here. Now 2 blocks up there, so that gives a 2 in that square, and to complete this block we just need a 3. And this might seem a bit fast for you if you've never played the game before, but you can just hit the pause button or go back a bit and watch it again if you're not sure of what's going on. We have a 5 blocking up here, so that means this is a 5, and the last number to place here is a 4. We have 5 blocking across here and 5 up here, so 5 goes in that square, and the last number to finish this row here is a 3. 3 now blocks down here and down here, that's going to give me a 3 in that square there. 3 across here and down here puts a 3 in that square, then 3 across here and 3 down here puts a 3 in that square. To complete this row down here, we're looking for a 4. Okay, not too much more to go now. Two blocks this square here, so 2 must be in that square, and to finish this block here we need an 8. Four blocks this square, but we don't yet have a 4 in this row, so that's where the 4 goes. And now to complete the row, a 9 will do it. 9 then blocks up here, so 9 goes in that square there, and a 2 finishes the row or the block. Because it's the same digit, it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. There is only one solution to Sudoku. 2 goes in this square. Only one solution to Sudoku. And so if it makes sense in one direction, it has to make sense in another direction too. This will be a 4 for this column. And now 4 across here and 4 down these two. Sorry, 4 across this row and 4 down these 2 columns. We'll put a 4 in that square. We also have a 4 blocking here, and that's the final digit 4. Now for this block here, we don't yet have a 7, so let's put in the 7. And there's just one square missing in this column, so I can find that for sure. And the missing number is a 2, I think. Then we have 2 blocking across here and 2 down here like this, so that's our 2. Okay, what's left to get? So missing numbers here and here. What we're looking for, 6 and 9. So we have 6 blocking down here like this. So here's the 6 and here's the 9. 9 blocks up here, so 9 goes in that square, and the missing number here will be an 8. 8 also blocks down here and puts itself there. And just 4 empty squares to finish off now, so let's see what's missing. This 9 blocks across here like this, and that's going to give us a 9 in that square. And to finish this block here, a 7 is going to do it. We'll take that 7 across here and say you must be there, and then a 6 is the final digit for this evening's Los Angeles Times easy level game. As I said, I'm far too biased for the expert and hard level games, and plenty of people enjoy the easier games, so I hope you like that if this is your cup of tea. I'm not having a cup of tea, it's too late now, I'm going to bed. But I've got plenty of time to play Sudoku tomorrow, so I'll catch you again later. Bye bye.